Why hello there, it's Chris here at Shake the Box, ringing in a new year by looking back at some of the games that made 2022 a somewhat bearable existence. The plague is still here, and the world is still on fire to some degree, and I'm still kind of getting over back-to-back COVID and food poisoning, but at least we still have video games. Right off the bat, I'll tell you that there are a few games on here that I didn't get around to yet, chief among them Tactics Ogre Reborn. But while they are denied a spot on this list, they will get coverage, or at the very least Tactics Ogre will, since I plan on doing a remasterpiece review of it, where I will compare it to all of its various incarnations, and there may be more than you think. And speaking about content, let me tell you what's coming. I promise. I have scripts written for various things, and I have plans for more. But, life and health have left me beaten and battered for a while now. But 2023, it's gonna be the year I get my poop together, I swear. Anyway, without any further ado, this is my top 10 list of 2022. Starting off at number 10 and working our way up to what I imagine won't be any surprise is, well, obviously number 10 at the bottom. And that is The Quarry. Weirdly not a part of the Dark Pictures anthology, The Quarry still follows the same Supermassive Games format of telling a spooky story by way of motion-captured actors, and players making decisions for those characters along the way. It was a shoo-in for my list, if only for featuring some of my favorite actors. We have some horror luminaries like Ted Raimi, David Arquette, a Twin Peaks alumni in Grace Zabriskie, and of course, Lin Shaye and Lance Henriksen showing up to make me squeal like a weird little fanboy every time they grace the screen. I love Lance Henriksen. Anyway, besides the film side of my life loving this game for the actors, the game itself is a fun little romp with lots of different endings and character pathways to play through. It was for sure a highlight of my Halloween streaming experience. I can't really talk too much about the story, which is the highlight, obviously, but that's what spoilers would do. I don't want to spoil it. I just want you to know it's fun, it's a great Halloween kind of game, play it with your friends. It's a good time. Coming in at number 9, we find Infernax. Infernax was an interesting game. It's part parody, part homage, playing like a cross between Contra and Castlevania with a dash of its own DNA in the blend. Infernax lures you in with the familiar, and before you know it, you're putting in cheat codes at a game wizard and trying to figure out how to get all the different endings, and there are a few fun ones to get. The Metroidvania exploration and gameplay is challenging and compelling, the humor is funny, and the various nods to childhood favorites keep the nostalgia beast inside of me fed and happy. My favorite memory in the game is I decided to try out a new spell I just got, and I figured, I'll just try it here, I'm in town, what's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is I literally set the entire town on fire and killed all of the NPCs that were in the town. I was gobsmacked, I was stunned. The game actually has consequences for testing out dangerous things in civilian locations. And it's actually part of the various different angles you can get. You can be a villain in this game. I accidentally ended up being a bit of a villain because of that. It feels a lot like folks slept on Infernax. I didn't see too much chatter about it, there wasn't a lot of buzz about it. I feel like that's a real shame. This was a great game, I had a lot of fun, and I think other people should play it. You should give this one a go if you have access to it. It might still be on Game Pass, I don't know. I played it on Game Pass. Check and see if it's still on there if you have Game Pass. Whew, that last entry. I felt like my heart rate was going up, it was a little too exciting for me. I really think for number 8, we gotta just chill. Alright, we gotta really relax. You know what I'm saying? Bring it down a few notches. And that's why it's time for number 8, Dorfromantik. I mean, do you hear this music right now? Are you hearing the pleasant tile placement sounds? Look at this landscape. What we're building here. Dorfromantik is literally one of the most serene video games I have played since Zenbound, which is a game about wrapping shapes of wood with rope. You don't get more zen than that, but we did it. Dorfromantik did it. This game will meet you on the level that you want to be on, and all those levels will be chill, dude, real. Just chill. You can go for a high score, You can play free play and just build the perfect little picturesque worlds. Long form and short form gameplay are both supported here. It's just a great way to unwind while letting your brain access that delightful flow state that happens when you get into that kind of mode, you know what I'm saying? It's a great game. Another one where I feel like people slept on a little bit. You gotta play Dwarf Romantic, it'll help you relax, but you can still go for meticulous high score play. It's everything I want. We went too down tempo there, huh? For number 8? Like, that was too relaxing? Yeah, we gotta get the blood pumping again. We gotta step it up about 80%, I think, here. Alright, so how about you try mining the earth for resources, but at the same time, you have to keep track of alien invasions that are just bashing against your base up on the surface world, alright? Like, you gotta juggle these two things. That seems pretty tense, right? Some hectic management? That's why for number 7, it's Dome Keeper. I love this game. It's perfect for me. So you're mining underground in a lot of games, like Terraria, Minecraft. That's my sweet spot, okay? That hits that Zen button in my brain, and I could do it for hours and hours and hours. Dwarf Fortress is a game where I just like to dig bases underground, and it makes me feel happy and good. Dome Keeper goes and makes it so that waves of increasingly dangerous aliens are assaulting my base while I'm digging. So you have to dig to find materials to upgrade your dome's defenses so that you can dig to find more materials to upgrade your dome's defenses, and these two phases of play feed each other perfectly in this gameplay loop. They complement each other perfectly. Now a free mobile game that you could be playing on your Android or iPhone at this very moment, the incredibly addictive precursor to a massive glut of imitators, is sitting pretty at number 6. It's Vampire Survivors. You choose a character, you try to survive. That's the heart of the experience. Done and done. Where it becomes addictive is the various ways that you can upgrade your character. The multitude of secrets and challenges to discover. The feeling of power that you get when you become a massive collage of various bullets, beams, and weapons that just dominates the screen by the end, just obliterating the bitrate on any stream that tries to play this stupid game. It's amazing. Like, it's that feeling you get from a successful run of Isaac, where you are just this unstoppable ball of damage. That's every run of Vampire Survivors when you get a good combination of powers going, and you will have a number of favorites that you'll go back to time and time again, allowing you to always be an overpowered beast. Unless, of course, you're trying to get one of those secrets or one of those challenge unlocks, which encourages you to get out of your comfort zone and try new things. It's perfect. The runs, they clock in at just 30 minutes, which means you always have just enough time for one more run of Vampire Survivors. It's that Pringles effect. You pop, you can't stop. And this time, you're gonna go ahead, you're gonna play the game again, you're gonna try this character with these powers, because you just want to. It pulls you back in. And the soundtrack slaps! And again, now that it's free on your phone, no one is safe from this phenomenon. Everyone can play Vampire Survivors. Which means you should go try it. If you haven't played it yet, boot it up on your phone. If you like it on your phone, you're gonna like it even more on your computer, and it's only a couple of dollars on Steam. In college, me and my buddy Raph would often joke that when we finished college, we were going to start a cult. Don't tell the feds about it, alright? It's a bit of a tax thing. Anyway, look at me now, Raph. I'm the leader of a cult, just like we always talked about. And it's all thanks to number 5, Cult of the Lamb. A combination of colony builder and action roguelite, Cult of the Lamb sees you building up a cult, which makes your adorable little animal cult leader more powerful so that they can topple the current pantheon of gods in that roguelite action segment. You use your followers to undertake dark rituals. You have little feasts. You turn them into horrible little demons that assist you in those roguelite assaults on the current gods. And of course, their non-believer followers. For extra fun, Twitch integration allows you to turn all of your adorable little cult members into members of your community, your chat. That means everyone has some skin in the game when it comes time to sacrifice someone to the dark entity that lurks beneath us all. I had an absolute blast watching various chat members get married, encouraging me to feed other chat members poop, And of course, resurrecting them over and over and over again, because not even death means you're free from cleaning up that goddamn outhouse. It stinks out there. Get out there and clean it already, Ponty. Go do it! I would never have guessed that these two game types would mix together so well, but it really does. All the things you do in your village improve your combat abilities, and then you go out and you find more followers, and you find more resources that allow you to come back and improve your town. They actually feed each other quite well, and it makes for a hell of a gameplay loop. It's a great time. Not that we should be surprised, Devolver Digital knows what they're doing when they pick the games that they're going to publish. I'm more of a dog person at heart, but that won't stop me from making this game my number 4. It's Stray. Stray's an interesting one. I'm not putting it here for its gameplay. Honestly, it's pretty basic, to the point that it almost plays itself at times. Instead, it's here for the pure atmospheric experience of the game. Slinking through a post-humanity world as a cat, seeing the remnants of a doomed past repurposed by robotic life forms as furniture and entertainment, and of course, tracking tiny little footprints all over the place while some robot tries to clean. It's a melancholic but beautiful game, and I loved just wandering around watching these robots live their lives and try to create a culture all their own from the remnants of what used to be a culture. The story was also enjoyable, despite my minor qualms with robots understanding a cat and a cat understanding robots. But I understand. You want dialogue in your game, that's how you're going to get in your game. And they did a good enough job of making the cat feel like a cat that anytime something bad threatened to happen to our furry little hero, everybody in chat threatened to riot. Every time. It's kind of like when you watch one of those lo-fi beats to study to videos and you kind of just want to be in that video, be in that world, and experience that place. That's what this is. You're in lo-fi robot land as Kitty. Like, it's just this pleasant sensation to inhabit this space. Like, for those of you that like putting Lord of the Rings on in the background while you do something, it's just because you like that zone, that place, that feeling that comes from it. It's a very pleasant one. This game gives me those warm, fuzzy feelings. It's definitely worth checking out. Ooh, top 3 time. Honestly, all of these games are great, but in the end, only 3 can occupy the top spots, and choices, they had to be made. These are 3 games that captured my imagination, challenged me, and just overall made me happy for the duration. Honestly, all the games do that, but these are the 3 games that when I finished them, I went back and I played them more. And that's the mark of real quality to me. It's not that you finished it, you had a good time, and you moved on. It's you finished it, you had a good time, and then you had to go back and do better, or try it again, or find more secrets. Like, you couldn't put it down. You couldn't leave it alone. That's what these 3 games are for me. Alright, coming in number 3, it's the game that made me feel old again before making me feel young again. It's Sifu. With a Sekiro-style posture meter on yourself and enemies, Sifu's a game about pure, visceral combat and pattern recognition. The real wrinkle is that anytime you die in Sifu, you age. Aging means having access to more skills and moves, you are wiser, and you have more experience after all, but it also means losing access to your health as you become elderly and frail. You're one of those wise masters that's super powerful, but one wrong move and they're dead. Similarly, levels are large and sprawling, and they're filled with various groups of thugs that you have to fight, but you find shortcuts that ease the passage through them for repeat playing. Now the thing is, taking those shortcuts after a death means giving up all the upgrade points that you would find in the level, but it also means avoiding all the mooks and mini-bosses. I love these sorts of balancing acts in games, because it's not really about using one or the other to win, it's about using these things to learn. By the end of the experience, you know boss movesets like you know the face of your parents. You know how to position yourself, you know how to punish openings, and you know how to smash through their posture like it's a creme brulee shell on a delicious dessert. Your first time beating the game, you're gonna end up a geriatric old man, but victory will be yours. By the time you get the real ending, the true ending, you're finishing that game in your goddamn 20s, and you feel goddamn good about it. You feel like a champion. Like, it's not a game about just winning, it's a game about winning well. And I love that. Fans of Sekiro, and just martial arts experiences in general, owe it to themselves to experience what this game has to offer. It's tense, it is fast-paced, it is visceral, and it is great. Not to mention the overall aesthetics of the various boss fights, with their use of the environment shifting, the tempo of the fights speeding up or just changing in general. The boss fights are chef's kiss. Every time I got to a new boss, the game would basically just stop and become about learning everything there is to know about this particular boss, and then completely stomping them. And then the second time through, it's less about stopping them and more about embarrassing them, because just beating them isn't enough. The secret ending, it's more about beating them. It's about being better than them. And like, that was a great experience. I really like the true ending of this game. Bringing a character I have been playing for literally 30 years into a new dimension, number 2 is Kirby and the Forgotten Land. No joke, 30 years. I remember playing the very first Kirby game as a wee little lad. To be playing and enjoying a Kirby game all these years later is great. A few things can have such longevity of joy in them, and that's always worth celebrating. Now, this is a game for everyone. You can give this game to a little kid and they will have a blast start to finish. You give it to a more seasoned vet of gaming and they can take on the true final boss and have a great time on overcoming that challenge. You could put those two people together in two-player mode and they will also have a fun time. No games are able to do that but Kirby. Completionists have plenty to hunt for in the world, with all the secrets, hidden waddle-dees, and completely hidden little like sound and music levels that are just little shout-outs to previous entries in the franchise is neat. Speedrunners can find efficient routes to minimize time. Seriously, unless you hate the aesthetics or the music, and the music is slapping by the way, there is something here for any level and type of player. That on its own is a feat, and a great one at that. As the more people that can enjoy the game, the better. The bigger the community, the more people that can sit down and be like, hey, did you like that Kirby game? Hey, I did too. And then they hug, and it's beautiful, and it's a Hallmark commercial. Anyway, it's really the ultimate package for a Kirby fan. It has the great music, it has the clever level design, it has tons of secrets to hunt down. It has a cosmic horror third act twist, with a brutal secret final boss, and a fairly challenging final world to overcome. As the first true 3D Kirby game, as in the gameplay is in 3D, not just the graphics, the gameplay translates great. Thanks to the game fudging distance on attacks to make it so you never feel like you failed thanks to a failure of depth perception, it makes you feel good, and I like that. Like, you could argue it makes the game a little bit too easy, but again, the further you get, the more challenging it becomes, and by the time you're fighting some of the later bosses, you won't mind so much. And as with many of the mainline Nintendo properties, it's a video game that feels fun to play and puts a smile on your face. And I like that. Like, not every game has to be this oppressive experience, and I do love those experiences. This game is sandwiched between those experiences. But I also like the childlike joy that comes from playing something that's just pleasantly fun. And Kirby nails that. Now for the big boy, which will shock absolutely no one, because it's my favorite director and my favorite developer making the most massive game of the year. So obviously Elden Ring is number 1. I mean, come on, no one's surprised here. You're not surprised, I'm not surprised. It may have won all those fancy awards for Game of the Year, but this is the real big boy. This is the Shake the Box Game of the Year award. Like, this is the one that matters. What has made the FromSoft games so very exciting over the years is watching how they grow and inform one another, with Elden Ring being a culmination of everything that has come before. You have the dark fantasy and interconnected world of Dark Souls. You have the frenetic combat pace of Bloodborne. You have the power stancing and versatility of build of Dark Souls 2 even, and the verticality of Sekiro. Not to mention, all of these things owe a little bit to Armored Core, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. That's a future game of the year right there. All of this is lovingly spread out in a vibrant and massive open world. Build variety and play styles are incredibly varied. Every 5 minutes is a new expansive world to gaze over in awe and wonderment. Mixing those two words together here. Legacy dungeons are huge, and they're filled with nooks and crannies to explore, aligning your mind with secrets and implications in regards to the story you find yourself thrust into. Strange characters dot the world, all with various levels of tragic story to tell. Even the sometimes repetitive bosses of the smaller dungeons are fun to test different weapons on, and always drop treasures that are rewarding and exciting. You're getting weapons, you're getting weapon arts, you're getting spells. It's never just some crafting material that you're going to pad your pockets with like they are in a lot of other games. They're always impactful finds. The crafting material is just scattered on the surface of the world. That makes exploring the various dungeons you find rewarding. They feel meaningful, even if it's a boss you fought before. With the release of the PvP arenas, we also have some structured PvP experiences for folks that don't want to deal with just the invasion system and the like. Number of times I found a new area of the game and I lost my damn mind over it is staggering. Oh, what's this, huh? Oh, an elevator. I wonder if it's a tomb. Oh my god, it's an entire underground continent? Like, how did they pull that off over and over again? No game's ever done that to me before. It made me feel amazing the whole time. And I played this for like 150 hours the first time through, just rubbing my face on every surface. It was incredible. No game has captured that since Dark Souls 1. Elden Ring satisfied me fully, and now the need for DLC is palpable. Not just for me, but for the community as a whole. We need more of this already massive game. And while I wait, I'll just keep playing the new PvP challenges in the arena, because let me tell you, 6-player free-for-all with spirit summoning is incredible, and it's pure chaos, and that's what I need in my life. I love it. I truly did enjoy all of my wanderings in the lands between, and I can't wait to do more of it. And it's truly deserving of being not just my #1 game of the year, but everyone's game of the year. Game of 2022, easy peasy. However, we are not done yet, because a very special thing happened in December. The one true GOAT of computer gaming released an official version, a storied game for over a decade in the PC space, a game that exists as art in the goddamned MoMA, a game that almost had me fail a college class because it's so damn addictive. That's right, Dwarf Fortress. Dwarf Fortress is literally the genesis for every single colony simulation game that you've ever heard of before, as well as being highly influential to gaming as a whole. Dwarf Fortress lets you build a complex, massive civilization, fortify it with traps, build and craft nearly anything you could think of and desire, create complex networks of fluids and mechanics and minecarts. You can send out raiding parties, you can trade and barter with multiple civilizations, you can control an individual character and then explore the world that you built. It generates hundreds of years of history with notable historical figures and events. It's the most robust simulation that exists in the gaming world, maybe even just in general. I don't know, I'm not a scientist, but good God, this game is complicated and amazing, and it's been a daunting thing for a long time for a lot of players. But let me tell you, that's not the case anymore. With the advent of the Steam release, the game now has a completely revamped user interface. It has tutorials, interactive tutorials, and just standard read-through tutorials. It has a robust system of menus that all make sense. It has graphics now. It has an incredible soundtrack. Like, seriously, this is an amazing soundtrack the game all of a sudden has. It's infinitely more approachable to the average gamer now. And again, it's still that amazing feat that it was before. The game is literally intended to be a simulation of as much of the universe as the creators can manage to simulate in a lifetime, and they're still going. The game will never be done until they're either dead or they've successfully simulated everything in the universe. Those are the guidelines for this game. It's why it's not really, like, released. It's just here now, and it's always been here, and it always will be. I don't know when you could say it's done. It's still not even like at version 0.5 yet. That's how dedicated they are to creating the ultimate game here. It's still going. And the results are truly a marvel to behold. You're seeing so much. Like I'm flabbergasted. I have a script in front of me, and I'm still like, I don't know how to talk about this game. It's so amazing and complex. It's insane. Like, you could sit down in the game and literally read stories that these little dwarves have written about events that you watched happen, that you caused to happen sometimes. Like, for them, it's life. For you, it was just a misclick. It's incredible. And to see this game reach a wider audience through Steam is magical to me. And the two brothers that made this game seriously deserve all the recognition in the world and all the sales in the world. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm rambling in a love letter to this game all of a sudden, but Dwarf Fortress, greatest game of all time, done. Pack it up, everyone. And like, if you do not have Dwarf Fortress, please get Dwarf Fortress. You owe it to yourself to play Dwarf Fortress. Everyone owes it to themselves to play Dwarf Fortress. Well, there you have it. My top 10 games of 2022 and Dwarf Fortress top game of all time. Was there some game I missed this year you think I should play? Let me know in the comments below. Is my taste trash and my list is terrible? Come fight me in the goddamn comments, scrub. Anyway, like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and definitely like and subscribe if you think my taste is trash so we can fight in the comments forever. And I'll see you real soon with all those other videos I've been talking about. If you do not see a new video from me by February, yell at me. Tell me I'm letting you down. I will make this happen, but I sometimes need some motivation. Anyway, hey, look at these other videos on the screen. Check out some of those if you want. And as always, stay safe and play the games you love. And here is to a great 2023. I've been Chris here at Shake the Box. I love you. Bye-bye.